Many Christians are familiar with such famous martyred saints as Joan of Arc, but a number of other influential saints are not known for being martyred. These saints' claim to fame comes largely from their positions as kings or queens. This video covers the 10 most historically significant monarchs canonized by a Christian church. These men and women accomplished a great deal for Christianity and the welfare of their people, and even today they appear on everything from coins to being the namesakes of churches, cities, and schools all around the world. Number 10. St. Balthild of Ascania. Balthild, whose name means bold sword or bold spear, was canonized by Pope Nicholas I around 1880. This wife of King Clovis II is known for many praiseworthy attributes, from her physical beauty to her humble and modest nature. According to the hagiographic accounts of her life, she was concerned for others to such an extent that she contributed to charity and offered donations that helped establish a number of abbeys in her kingdom. What makes her story particularly remarkable is that earlier in her life she was sold into slavery. King Clovis, however, became smitten with this household servant and married her despite her lower place in society. Balthild is admired for not forgetting her earlier plight and for doing what she could to help the downtrodden when she was in a position to do so. She worked to abolish selling Christians as slaves and to free children who were sold into slavery. Given how long it took even modern enlightened societies to abolish slavery, Britain in 1833, France in 1848, and the United States in 1865, her anti-slavery practices nearly 1,500 years ago are all the more remarkable and commendable. Number 9. St. Charles I. Charles, the controversial King of England and Ireland, as well as King of the Scots from March the 27th, 1625 to January the 30th, 1649, is noteworthy as the only saint canonized by the Church of England after the Reformation. He is also the only martyr to appear in this article due to his less positive claim to fame, being the only King of England publicly beheaded. Charles is known for reigning in such a way that he alienated Puritans in his country. He tried to rule without parliament, raised taxes through loopholes, attempted to impose a common prayer book on Scotland, and married a French Catholic. After Scotland invaded England, a civil war erupted against him, led by the ultimately victorious Oliver Cromwell. Cromwell abolished the monarchy and parliament. He banned critical newspapers. He reconquered Scotland, subdued Ireland, suppressed Catholicism, and made himself Lord Protector. After his death, his son became the new Lord Protector of something that was allegedly not a monarchy. Therefore, the former members of Parliament invited Charles's son to come to England as its king in 1660. Cromwell's body was exhumed and his head was cut off and put on public display. Charles I, meanwhile, became regarded as a martyr, and England has remained a monarchy to this day. Number 8. Edward the Confessor. St. Edward, who reigned from June the 10th, 1040 to January the 5th, 1066, was one of the last Anglo-Saxon kings of England from the House of Wessex. The year of his death should be recognizable to most people as the year of the Norman invasion. The pious Edward was the son of Emma of Normandy, great aunt of William the Conqueror. His significance for Christian history is that he was the first Anglo-Saxon and the only English king to be officially canonized by the Catholic Church in 1161. His feast day is October the 13th, and he is venerated as a patron saint of difficult marriages. Number 7. St. Emma Kalanikaumakaamano. Maybe that's pronunciation, don't really know. Before Hawaii became a US state, it was an independent monarchy, and Emma served as Queen Consort of Hawaii from June the 19th, 1856 to November the 30th, 1863. During her lifetime, she met with Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom, who had become godmother to Emma's son. Emma founded St. Andrew's School for Girls and also the Queen's Hospital, where she personally visited patients on a regular basis. She played a major role in helping to establish the Church of England in her island kingdom. She was baptized in 1862 and is now honored with a feast on November the 28th by the Episcopal Church. Number 6. St. Jadwiga. Jadwiga, although a woman, reigned as king rather than Queen of Poland from October the 16th, 1384 to July the 17th, 1399. The reason for this is because she was not merely the wife of a reigning king, but rather royalty in her own right. She is one of Poland's most important monarchs. She learns at least 6 languages: Latin, Bosnian, Hungarian, Serbian, Polish, and German, and was known for her charity. Appropriately enough, Polish-born Pope John Paul II canonized her in 1997. She is now venerated as the patron saint of queens and a united Europe. Number 5. St. Louis IX. Louis IX reigned as King of France from November the 8th, 1226 to August the 25th, 1270. A patron of the arts, Louis is unfortunately best known for his participation in the Crusades. The 2 Crusades he participated in, the 7th in 1248 and the 8th in 1270, were disasters. During the 7th Crusade, Muslim forces captured Louis. During the 8th Crusade, he died. Yet, despite these failures, back in his Kingdom of France, his country enjoyed the golden century of St. Louis due to its artistic and architectural achievements, as well as the size of its military. Pope Boniface VIII canonized Louis in 1297, and Louis became the patron saint of the Third Order of St. Francis, France, the French monarchy, hairdressers, and lace makers. Number 4. Saint Clotilda. Clotilda, in her role as wife of Frankish king Clovis I, held the title of Queen of all the Franks. It is perhaps fitting, then, that both the wives of Clovis I and Clovis II would become saints. Clotilda is unquestionably one of the most significant women of the Dark Ages, due in large part to her influence on her more famous husband. For one thing, she played a critical role in her husband's conversion to Christianity. Her husband had prayed that if his wife's God helped him in battle against the Alemanni, he would be baptized. He did indeed win the decisive battle of Tolbiac in 496 and kept his half of the bargain. This conversion had considerable influence given France's long history as a Catholic country for the next 1,500 years. She is the patron saint of queens, widows, brides, adopted children, parents, the lame, and even those in exile. Number 3. St. Alfred the Great. Alfred reigned as King of Wessex, the most important kingdom in Dark Ages Britain, from April the 23rd, 871 to October the 26th, 899. During his reign, Alfred was made Roman consul by Pope Leo IV around 853. He made London a metropolis and, according to legend, founded Oxford University in 882. He also defeated the Great Heathen Army, a Viking army from Denmark, at the Battle of Edington in 878. Alfred ultimately became the first king of Great Britain to style himself as King of the Anglo-Saxons. Some Catholics regard him as a saint, despite never officially being recognized as such by the Roman Catholic Church. He is, however, venerated by the Anglican community. His feast day is October the 26th. Number 2. St. Stephen I. St. Stephen I reigned as the first king of Hungary from 1001 to 1038. If being the first king of a country is not significant enough in its own right, he also played a major role in spreading Christianity in the region over which he ruled. Not long after his death, King Stephen became Saint Stephen, canonized by Pope Gregory VII on August 20th, 1083. As such, to Hungarians the world over, he is one of their most popular saints, with his feast day celebrated as a national holiday. In 1811, the composer Beethoven even composed a commemorative work honoring this great king. Number 1. St. Charlemagne. Charlemagne reigned as King of the Franks from October the 9th, 768 until his death on January the 28th, 814. He was also King of the Lombards from July the 10th, 774 until his death. During his long reign, Charlemagne accomplished so many significant achievements that he is known as the Father of Europe. He restored the Roman Empire in the West when he became the first Holy Roman Emperor by being crowned Pope Leo III on Christmas Day of 800. This title lasted for over 1,000 years until 1806. He also ushered in the Carolingian Renaissance, which involved the building of a palace in Aachen and the support of intellectual writers. He won numerous military victories and even nearly married the East Roman Empress Irene. As such, Charlemagne is by far the most influential king or queen who was ever canonized as a saint. Yet, in his case, the canonization is not officially recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. Why not? Well, because the man who canonized Charlemagne in 1165 was Antipope Paschal III, who reigned in opposition to the legitimate Pope Alexander III. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button below, and don't forget to subscribe for brand new videos every day of the week. And if you're looking for something else to watch right now, why not click one of the videos on the screen? And as always, thank you for watching.